Ryan was 33 when he first met Mary. She was just a couple of years out of college, 22 years old, and found herself melting under the attention of a more mature man. She loved the way he courted her, how he could afford more than guys her own age. She was the first one to bring up marriage, and Ryan eventually went along with it. After all, he thought 33 was a good time to settle down. 8 years flew by in a blink. They had shared so much together, experiences that only deepened their marriage, or so Ryan believed. But time changes everything, often without us even noticing. Mary had grown bored with the monotony of married life. She craved excitement and began suggesting spicier, more adventurous ideas for their intimate life. At first, Ryan agreed to it all, enjoying her spark and enthusiasm. But over the next couple of years, her suggestions became more outlandish and extreme. Finally, when she proposed inviting another couple into their bedroom, Ryan snapped, yelling at her never to bring it up again. Mary apologized and said she understood. Before that moment, Ryan had been proud of the openness they seemed to share, but after that confrontation, he sensed Mary pulling away. He asked her repeatedly if everything was okay, and she would smile lightly, saying she was just tired or busy with work. He noticed her spending more time on her phone, supposedly for work, but whenever he came near, she would flip it face down. That raised alarm bells in Ryan's mind. One night, he intentionally stayed up late watching TV, waiting for Mary to fall asleep, so he could secretly check her phone. Something about her abrupt shift in behavior nagged at him. Searching her social apps and messengers, he didn't see anything suspicious until he noticed a small, unfamiliar icon on her home screen. Curious, he tapped it and discovered an entire world of virtual matchmaking. He felt like he'd been whacked over the head with a sack of bricks. Could Mary really be so mad at him that she would cheat? He never dreamed she'd go behind his back like that. Poking around the app, he found Mary's chats with various people, sometimes couples, inviting her to join them. The conversations didn't confirm she had met anyone in person, but Ryan felt hollow inside, like the rug had been yanked out from under him. Unsure what to do next, he closed everything and put her phone back where he found it. After that, he tried to act normal around Mary, not wanting to tip her off. But it was hopeless. He made biting remarks, throwing little jabs as if trying to provoke her. Mary got offended, and they went days barely speaking. In a twisted way, Ryan found the silent standoff convenient. He was too busy obsessing over what to do next, wondering if she was actually meeting these people or if it was all just talk. One evening, Mary announced she'd be staying over at a friend's place, something she had never done in all their years of marriage. She always said she hated sleeping anywhere but her own bed. Ryan tried playing it cool, but asked why she had suddenly changed her mind. "My friend's going through a rough breakup," Mary answered. "She needs me for moral support." Ryan didn't press further. Mary left and didn't return until the following evening, in a strangely buoyant mood. "Everything all right?" Ryan asked, forcing a smile. "Huh? Yeah, all good," she replied. That was it. He waited, hoping she'd share more about her friend's situation. She used to confide in him about these things, calling him her closest confidant. Now she clammed up and headed straight for the shower. Ryan was so angry he crushed a plastic milk bottle in his hand, sending milk everywhere. As he cleaned up, his brain ran a mile a minute, plotting how to catch her in the act. Mary took her phone with her to the bathroom, so Ryan had no immediate way to snoop. Once she was fast asleep, though, he grabbed her phone again and reopened that suspicious app. His gut feeling was dead on. Mary had indeed visited a certain couple that very night. In fact, she had just left them, and they were texting her about how great a time they'd had, inviting her back soon. Ryan ground his teeth, imagining steam blowing out his ears. Noting the address they had shared, he closed the app and decided he would investigate that place himself. It turned out to be a private house clear on the other side of town. So Ryan hatched a plan. Next time Mary said she'd be staying at her friend's, he would go there to see for himself. He didn't have to wait long. A couple of weeks later, Mary announced she'd be staying the night out again. Ryan calmly said, "Sure, have a good time," then calculated how long it would take her to get there before setting off himself. When he arrived, he spotted her car parked outside the house. He pulled over a block away, debating his next move. Should he bang on the door, yelling for them to let him in? Should he stand outside all night, waiting for her to leave? A light flicked on upstairs, revealing two silhouettes. One was helping the other undress. Judging by the curly shape of the hair, Ryan realized it was Mary. Rage flared within him. He wanted to barge in right then, but he knew they would probably call the cops. That would only bring more trouble that could reflect badly at his job. He waited, watching the silhouettes move. An hour passed. Finally, Ryan decided enough was enough. He stomped up to the front door and started pressing the doorbell over and over until his finger got sore. Eventually, the door opened a crack and a man's voice bellowed, "Cut out, or we're calling the police." Ryan hollered back. He didn't want trouble, just to see his wife. That gave them pause. Suddenly, the gate clicked open and a short man, presumably the homeowner, appeared. He looked older than Ryan by about a decade. Ryan felt sick. How could Mary, so young and beautiful, get involved with this guy? "I want to see Mary," Ryan said firmly. "Her car is right there in your driveway." "Ryan?" Came Mary's voice from behind the man. Then she emerged, wearing a silky slip and stockings, her makeup still heavy and bright. She looked like a total stranger. "Get dressed." "We're leaving," Ryan snapped. "You've got 15 minutes. Meet me outside." Mary didn't argue. Shortly after, she came back out wearing street clothes, holding a small gym bag, probably stuffed with her outfit. On the drive home, neither said a word. But once they got back, the fight was on. They screamed so loud the neighbors banged on the walls to shut them up. Mary shrieked that Ryan had driven her to this by dismissing her ideas. "I wanted us to do this together, but you shut me out," she yelled. Ryan just stared in disbelief. How could his refusal to share their bed with another couple possibly justify cheating? As far as he was concerned, no one in a committed relationship would react that way. "I'm taking everything in the divorce. House, car, everything," Mary shouted. Then she grabbed her bag and slammed the door so hard the entire apartment rattled. The neighbors banged on the walls again. Ryan, feeling drained, collapsed on the couch, staring at nothing. He was sure Mary would follow through on her threat. Her father was a lawyer, after all, and would help her do exactly that. After the divorce, Ryan was left with just his car and a small payout from her father for the apartment. He was furious, but also exhausted. As for Mary, rumor had it she never remarried. A mutual friend told Ryan she had spiraled into a wild lifestyle, hooking up with not just one or two couples, but multiple. He cut them off, telling them never to mention her name again. The mere thought of who Mary had become made him sick. He wanted nothing more than to forget it all, like a bad dream,